All right, so we're going to start at the very bottom of the list, and I'm interested to know what you guys think is your worst dungeon, but I'm going to start it off, and you guessed it, Dawnbreaker. I've had some ups and downs with this dungeon. I truly think that, like, the dungeon is kind of crazy because I had no idea what was going on for the longest time until I got, a friend of mine ran me through it, was kind of explaining everything. I was dying countless times. You have to fly on the ship, off the ship, around the ship, under it, over it, down around the mountain to come back, and then eventually you beat the first boss. She phases twice, so you have to escape the ship twice. But before that, you have to fly off, set barrels off, blow ships up that are flying in the air. A lot of movement going on, a lot of confusion. Once you get through that ship part and you dive down into, the next boss area, which is the town, you have to weaken him by killing side characters, side little mini bosses, whatever they are, because I don't even know. I don't think I've been with a group that's killed more than one. That won't be happening in Mythic Plus. And then as soon as you kill that, you rush through the bottom and you jump back up to Dawnbreaker, and you meet this fella. Acid waves, fire barrels, confused players, and all that. It was just... So Dawnbreaker does not rank heavy on my list of dungeons so far, and I just am not ready for Puggin Mythic Plus for this dungeon unless people really take the time to learn it, which I'm going to, and I'm getting it. Each step that I do, I get better. So that is the worst dungeon. Then we're going to crawl right up the list past Dawnbreaker, and we're going to get to the City of Threads. One that I haven't ran too much, just, luck of random heroics. So I don't know, my least favorite part of this dungeon is you have to roam around and find the hidden people, and I don't even know how to do that yet. I'm assuming that there's that aura around them, but I don't know who can find them. So I've just been along for the ride for this one. I couldn't even tell you because we beat this boss so fast. We're just all running around the town in different directions. Don't walk in the little beacons or you'll get webbed back to the beginning. I don't know what's going on there. We get to this big guy. Couldn't even tell you any of his mechanics. This is how little that I've actually run this dungeon. Maybe that's why it's so low on my list. Oddly similar boss. They all look the same, and you'll see that in the next dungeon as we crawl right up to the web to the City of Echoes. One that I have played a lot more compared to the City of Threads, but still hanging near the bottom. You run around, beat 3 spiders that are hanging, and then this guy crawls up the web. Just watch out for the holes in the webs and those eggs. I've been in too many groups where people are just popping those eggs. It's annoying. Slows you down, does damage, whatever. So 3 spiders down, this guy goes up, and you beat him down real quick. Down around the bend, jump through a house. This big guy, mechanically easy so far. I'm not sure if I haven't seen all of the mechanics in a lot of these bosses because we're killing them too fast, or he's just that simple. But I think he's kind of fun. Call back to the, Warcraft 3, the old RTS game. So, because big guys, you big leader and shooting the spikes to the ground, all that kind of fun stuff. But stand in the middle of the room, no problem. And then, similar to the boss looking in the City of Threads, all the Nerubians that took the old God Blood look similar, humanoid eyes, more noses, as someone pointed out in one of my videos. So fantastic. So right there, bottom 3 is that. We're going to scoot on back and we're going to start the last one of the bottom 4. Rookery. Somebody had to be in that part. Rookery's pretty fun. You run down, you kill the group, fly your griffins over, clear that entire ring. Now I'm saying clear the entire ring because that's what tanks do. They pull everything and you just hope for the best. Now, thankfully, knock on wood, I haven't died too much in any of these gigantic pulls because I like to, I'm higher geared. I think I'm a 580 item level. And then, use my cooldowns and my healing abilities. But I think as for little boss, jumps into the middle, shoots a beam. Other than that, just does lightning charges and stuff like that. Now, not sure if it's obviously going to be harder when you got to pull from Mythic Plus and all, but right now, pretty simple. Fun, real quick. He stands in the middle of the room. He does a couple little explosions out with these 4 pillars of void, we'll say, and then you just beat him down real fast. Nothing too crazy. Then you get down to the bottom. You got to jump down, which I'm still unsure of. I know when leveling, you had to grab those feathers, free the birds, but I've been told it doesn't really count in heroic or even Mythic Plus. It won't matter. So just grab the web, jump to the bottom, call it a day. Or just Demon Hunter, Drakthir, just avoid grabbing the feather, just jump to the bottom, no problems. Clear the pillar, kill all the void orbs, all good. He's real quick. He does a couple odds and ends, but, you know, but 3 boss, simple. You'll see a lot of these dungeons are actually real short and sweet, but yeah, this is the top of the bottom 4. Now, it's time to move on to the top 4. These are progressively will get to be my favorites over time. I don't know, I forget off the top of my head what the order of Mythic Plus, what 4 is coming first versus second, and then we'll wrap up whatever. We have the Stone Vault. I really like this one for some reason. It's that Titan-esque facility, you know, feeling. You clear up all the way to him, you got to clear his room, then he comes active. You know, he doesn't anything crazy mechanics wise right now till we get further in, then we'll all be surprised on Mythic Plus Day how it just, oh wow, I never saw that one. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with rushing through everything, but it's fine. We're here for it. Jeez, I'm gonna say I usually go to the, so after the first boss, this is where I go to these fellas. So it's 2 bosses that sit there, and you have to get to one side of the room because he does steam vents, and then the other guy sends big boxes across the room. This guy sends a big box across the room. Just get out of it because it will drag you literally across the entire room. So I think it's fun, simple mechanics, something to look forward to. Going to him after, he generates these little shardies that no one right now in Heroic has been taking care of at all. I do, just because I know we're going to have to, so I practice. I harpoon over, poke, and then jump back. I do my responsibility of my one, and we move on. So boss down. And then Void Speaker, you get to the end, and he's in there. Yeah, I believe he's the one that has the 2 void portals that sit there, and I'm not sure, DBM tells you to do something with it, but I think it's wrong, so I just ignore it. Pound through him, and that dungeon's done. But Stone Vault, I like the aesthetics of it. I like the bosses. I like specifically the Master Machinist of it. Top 3, starting with the 3rd. We have Dark Flame Clef. You come to old Waxbeard, and he has those train tracks that are across the thing. They warm up. You see them heating up, and then the carts roll down. It's pretty cool. I've always liked kobolds. I think, you know, since, you know, in Elwyn Forest, when you meet them and you're getting the gold dust and the candles, you know, now we learn why they need candles. I think he's cool, and makes you want to mole mount really bad. So I'm working on that as well. Blaziken is just one of those real easy. Like, he reminds me of the one of the other bosses in the next 2 up on my list. I can't think of anything that he does in particular besides, you know, more candle burning and stuff. So you beat him, run up the steps, and then you get to another little kobold. Looks vicious. He is coated in candles, the Candle King. He makes wax figures of you, which is pretty cool. I think you got to stand behind them to absorb damage. Now, please, correct me if I'm wrong, because I have not seen the longevity of these dungeons. I have just been maybe 10-15 minutes from start to finish. So it is people just rushing through, getting gear, doing all kinds of things. But I like him. He's pretty cool. You know, he's the Candle King. How can you not like him? Then we load yourself up on the cart, and we prepare to make our way down the dark, spooky hallway that your cart has a limited time frame. It's ticking. Once it runs out, you can run to candles, bring it back, refuel it. I, as a hunter, use my flares just to make sure we can see while we can, and then while someone's going to get it. I like running to go get it. I think it's pretty fun. And then get to a pile of dynamite, load up the cart, and this bad fella starts rushing down the hall to you. Just whip dynamite as fast as you can, and you get him. Then you fly over, head hurting, walk to the room, get in there, kill a couple things, and move to him, wrap up. Dark Flame Clef is just really unique because of that. Like, I think adding that fun little, it's almost like a mini game in the dungeon that I really do enjoy, because you understand why the kobolds are terrified of the darkness, and we need candles as well now. But he doesn't die, so I feel like he might come back later. I think that'd be a pretty cool callback if we got him just as a quick, even like a side rare or mini boss in a raid or something. I don't know, something cool. Drum roll number 2. Here we are. This one, I've always been a fan of the radical, light religious aspect of, you know, the light's good, and then the light isn't good. So I think these people, so you start off, you gotta run in, you make your way up to one of the, we'll say, mini bosses. Kill the mini boss, and then, much like Court of Stars, kill him. This guy will send one of his helpers off to, you know, come find you, and you end up beating them, and then until you feel comfortable enough that you can jump in. Usually it's been with one that's left, so focus that. But he also does a battle cry you gotta look out for. But he's riding a lynx. I think he's really cool. I just like that. So then you storm the temple, You got to clear out the entire room and the stairs, and then the prioress sends the Baron down to deal with you. He's fun, very paladin-like. Has his spinning hammers and he has his consecration on the ground, all kind of fun things. I think that light paladin-esque fun fantasy is cool. Beat him, rush right up the stairs to find the prioress standing there. You got to clear out a couple mobs, beat her on her platform. She does a couple cool things where a beam from up top will follow you, jump out because it hurts, I'll tell you. Get her down to percentage, I don't know off the top of my head. She runs upstairs, puts a shield on. That's where I think you're going to end up lusting in Mythic Plus, especially on when you get the unfortunate week of Tyrannical, and then if you got Fortified, and then if you're doing high enough, I think you both. I got to revisit the whole Mythic Plus, see what's changed in that thing. I know they've added some more affixes to it to kind of change it up, spice it up, all those kind of things. But Priory of the Sacred Flame has made top 2. It's a 3-boss dungeon. It's quick. It's going to be different once you find out with Mythic Plus what percentage is and what you have to kill to get there. But right now in Heroic, you're just beelining for hit all the bosses and getting it done. Now comes number 1. Speaking of beeline, all right, we got Cinder Brew Meadery. My love, the music is so fun in there. It is you're in a bar. You know, you got to get in there, deal with all the rough patrons at first. Your first boss, you go into the Brewmaster, and he's in front of the kegs, behind the bar, filling up stuff, and we attack him. And you know my love for Cultirians, they're my favorite. But then Happy Hour comes out. You got to grab the drinks off the counter, rush it to the thirsty patrons that are at the tables around the room. I believe you have to do 5, so if everyone grabs one, you're in a good spot. Haven't really tested that out because it's just all frantic. Everybody's running around. We're pulling everything all at once. We're going to go to this guy next. Got to kill all like the mead bubbles around there, and then IPA comes out, and you just beat him up a little bit. He drops out these droplets that will give him a shield on him, which not a lot of people are cutting him around away from the dots so the DPS can get them down, but I do my best to practice like I have in other dungeons. Just get ready for Mythic Plus because that comes in about 1 week. Fantastic. Cannot wait. Bank Busby. You're going down the hall, and I like my favorite mount is the Honeyback Harvester. Right now I'm Horde, as you can see, just to play with a couple friends, but next week switching back to my Cultirian so I can have my Honeyback Harvester and I can just look Cultirian-y. But riding a Cinder Bee, I think he's really cool. He does drop some barrels and stuff like that. Oh, is that his mount? Yeah. Oh, I wish he dropped his mount. That'd be fun. But really cool. I think he's just fun. I think every boss so far has been fun. So once you beat him, you rush out and you get on the beeline. You take this bee, now granted, could be steps, could have been quicker, but the bee like takes you up in a round and you land here, and she's got all her yes men sitting in front of her. You got to beat them down, then she pops up. Now, I think, she puts these barrels out, and much like Motherlode, I think you're supposed to take the explosions out and blow them up so she doesn't do it for you. Because I think if I've only seen it once, that it progresses far enough and then she blows all the barrels up. So less are out there, and if you strategically take them down, it is fun. But Cinderbrew Meadery is my favorite dungeon so far, and I hope this one survives for a while. We're going to have it in, I don't know, I will check, but what season we have it in, and then hopefully it'll come back and make a reoccurring appearance in future Mythic Plus seasons. But guys, that is my some worst to best list of the War Within dungeons. If you have any different opinions, put it in the comments below. If I got something wrong, please let me know, and you will catch me on my next video, and I hope to see you there. See ya.